Many years ago, I experienced a panic attack that hit me like a freight train. Almost out of the blue, I started to experience many of the symptoms of panic. I had shortness of breath, my heart was pounding, I was dizzy. Probably the most troubling symptoms were the racing, incoherent thoughts. My thoughts were disorganized and I was completely confused. I also felt physically paralyzed. I was pinned to the ground and couldn't get up to ask for help. Now, this terrorizing fear lasted for probably 30 to 45 minutes, but it was still another hour or two that I felt weak and exhausted. Now, as a Christian, I knew I didn't have to tolerate these panic attacks, but I wasn't real sure about what direction to go in. What had caused this panic attack and how would I prevent future ones? I believe that the Lord led me to understand that there were two types of fears I needed to address. One was the fear of panic itself. Oftentimes, people develop panic disorders because they're so afraid of having more panic attacks. So I needed to make sure that I was not afraid of having additional panic attacks, and that even when I had mild anxiety symptoms, that I wasn't concerned about them and that I certainly wasn't afraid of them. In fact, if I did have anxiety, I had to practice facing them with courage and excitement and with boldness. This was very important to have a different response to them. And after all, I could be excited about facing them because I knew that scriptures backed me up on this. So there was no reason to fear the potential of any anxiety symptoms coming again to haunt me like the panic attack had. I also needed to address another fear, a fear that I believe was a deeper kind of fear and that really was at the heart of the panic attack. You see, I had lost a business a year or two before this initial panic attack, and it was a business that I really enjoyed. It brought a great source of income. And over time, after having lost it, due to factors beyond my control, I started to blame myself for having lost the business, and I gradually thought of myself as a failure. You see, I had started to place my trust in something where it didn't belong. As Christians, we don't have to derive our worth from our successes, our performance, our appearance, our achievements, or the amount of approval we gain from others. Our approval, our worth, our value comes from Christ and the work He has done on the cross. We're accepted. I needed to reframe what I was trusting in. And sure, it was sad that I lost the business. There are many other things that go on in our lives that we grieve about, that we are deeply affected by. But we can gain confidence and encouragement from the Word of God and once again place our value and our trust in Him. So as I began to adamantly defy the notion that I had to be afraid of panic attacks and that I could actually meet them with courage and excitement, and that I didn't have to base my worth on something so subjective and arbitrary as my achievements or my appearance or my approval from others. And I did away with so much of the fear having to do with perfectionism or rejection as I began to put those in the right perspective. A lot of the fear of the future, about safety, about uncertainty, began to be put in its place. You see, the only certainty we have in life is the certainty that Christ gives us. The only safety we have in life is the safety that Christ gives us. And so as we begin to look to Him and Him alone, we oftentimes will experience much greater peace. I hope that this has been of help to you. Remember, if you don't practice in advance facing the fear and even believing in excitement that the Lord is going to deliver you, it's going to be very difficult to deal with panic symptoms. You'll be tried again. You can believe me on that. I had one more panic attack after the initial one, but it was much shorter in duration and it was much less intense. I believe that facing the fear with courage and excitement and boldness was key to overcoming panic attacks. I hope this has been of some help to you. God bless you.